Today I'm doing night street photography with my 35mm Sony 1.8 lens. I haven't used this lens that much. If you follow my channel, you know that I like my 85mm and I like my 55mm Sony Zeiss lens. But this focal length is actually what we in street photography call the classic focal length. This is where it started back in the 80s, 90s, where street photography was up and coming and new. So I actually took it out again for a spin to see what kind of photos I can capture. It was actually the first one I bought when I bought my Sony A7C back in December 2021. So I'm really excited about it. And I'm heading to the meatpacking district here in Copenhagen, which is a hipster area. It's been remodernized to have a lot of hip bars and hip restaurants, and just generally a lot of people go to this area in the weekend. Today is Saturday, so let's see what I can capture with my 35mm. I normally use my 85 because I don't like to get up close and personal, but this is actually a good way of practicing street photography as well. So my settings are, the focal length is set to 1.8, which is the lowest. The ISO is 800. I might need to adjust it. And it's 1/80 right now. It will probably be a bit higher, but I have to make a test shot and then adjust the settings throughout this session. So keep watching. There's a really cool kitchen, window kitchen with the sign H15. I'm just gonna make a test shot, and the it's 800 ISO. It looks good. Normally I like to underexpose my shots, but there's a lot of light here coming from the kitchen, so I'm gonna try to lower it to 500 ISO, and I can see still it's minus 0.7 underexposed. Yeah, I think it looks good, but it's quite a wide shot. If I had my 85mm in comparison, I would be able to capture some of the people inside the kitchen walking around. But that's the difference between a 35 and an 85. This is quite a vibrant area with a lot of people around, a really different type of people. This area historically has been a little bit of a not safe space. It was not the best picture of the facade. It's it's too dark to capture anything, but it's hard to see people walking by. But there's a really cool restaurant up front. Let me see if I can take a couple of pictures of the neon sign. If I had my 85mm, I wouldn't be able to take the close-up shot because it will be too close. So you can see as there's a dry wall kind of thing. There's renovating or something on the right side, so it could be really difficult. But because I have a 35mm wide angle lens with me today, it might be possible. Let me check it out. I have to go all the way around. This is, by the way, a really good restaurant. If you're ever in Copenhagen, check it out. Okay, so I'm thinking I would like to capture as much as the front. So I'll try to frame it from the side here. Looks really cool. You can see quite a lot that is captured with the 35 millimeter. It looked actually really cool with the car and the top of the car with the reflection. I'm trying to capture that again. Let me see if I can. Oh wow, that looks really nice. And it actually looked like the car is still, so it's not moving. So I bumped up my shutter speed to 250. I did that to capture the moving subject in this case. So I could have gone up to 1/500, but I think 250 was okay for the car at the speed that it was driving. That looks very cool with the reflection, and I actually took 6-7 photos rapidly in succession. So I'll just give it a last try with one other car. All right, I think that's enough. I think I have 15-16 pictures now. But it looks really cool. I really like this one. Let me head into the meatpacking district. It's actually not that big, so but it's formed like a square. So I'll try to start from one end and then go all the way around and see if there's anything cool I can pick up. Like those guys over there. I think I'm too far away. So composition wise, I'm trying to get the reflection in the car, on the top of the car, and then there's the actual sign of the restaurant, and then there's a couple of signs, and there's signs in the back reflecting. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. I'm just trying to catch all of it. And I'm focusing on the sign that says SPASS. Getting that in focus, then you can actually see that, and the other ones you will see also in the picture. So let me see how this will turn out in post. But for now, it looks really cool and artistic, which is cool. So I really like this place here, the meatpacking district. It's a really good mix of industrial vibe combined with new. So it's a really cool hipster vibe. There's a lot of cool restaurants, a lot of people moving around here. Oh, that looks really cool. One thing about street photography is that people look at you sometimes. I'm wearing my GoPro. I can feel people looking at me. But that's how it is. You have to get used to it. So I'm still at f1.8 and the ISO is 800 and the shutter speed is 1/60. There's a lot of movement, so I can do that. I can actually go down all the way to 1/40 and not introduce handshake to the camera of the photo. It's a little bit dark here today, but when the sun is out, it gives a little bit different feel to it. So let me see if I can capture a moody photo here. So for framing, I'm trying to get the letters that says Flæsk. It's just a nice gimmick. This place is called Flæsketorvet. So maybe I can do some magic in post, but let me see what I can do. So far, I am really enjoying my 35mm again. I actually forgot how easy it is to capture photos, especially wide-angle photos, because I've gotten so used to my 85. But I must admit, I don't really pick up this lens as much as I would like. I think my all-time favorite is the Sony Zeiss 55mm. Try to capture the taxi and the lights. As I always say, go out and practice. Practice makes better. Practice will train your eye for details. It might look like crap when you get home, and out of 200 photos you might have taken on a photo walk, maybe you can use 2 or 3 or 5. So it's just about getting out, practicing, and then don't worry about what you can capture in terms of artistic feel to it. And the more you practice this, the better you will get. Sometimes I come home, I have a lot of photos that I think are bangers, but only maybe 2 or 3 or 4 of them I really can use, and I really select for my Instagram as well. So, but that's normal. Don't push yourself too hard in the beginning. It's all about quality, not quantity. So there's a lot of storefronts here that has neon signs or other kinds of light signs in there, and with this focal length I can actually capture a lot of the storefronts without standing too far away. but I cannot take photos of people sitting outside on a bench outside of a restaurant, except I have to maybe go be really up close. So I've been all the way around in the meatpacking district and caught a few cool shots. So I think this will conclude this video with the 35mm 1.8 Sony lens. This was a different type of focal length for me. This was actually, as I mentioned before, the first lens that I bought with my camera, but since I've come to love the 85mm focal length and the 55 Sony Zeiss lens, but this one is still a pleasure to use. But for me, I think it's more of a artistic choice where I feel like I need to take photos of, for example, storefronts or other wide angle shots. This is absolutely the best lens. I have a 24mm as well, but I use that mostly for my architectural shots because it's a bit more wide than this one. All right, take care.